What's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a good start to your week today because we are finally about to start on the restoration of this Mazda MX-5 Miata. Now, lately, I've been having a lot of trouble shifting into gears on this thing, and I think it's about time to finally change the transmission fluid. Now, I actually got some pretty good fluid. A lot of the MX-5 group recommends this oil right here. This is the Ford full synthetic transmission oil. This is for your manual transmissions. The part number is XTM5QS. You're going to need about 2 of these things. I actually got this one off of Amazon for about 30 bucks, but they're going to be late with the next shipment because I was supposed to get them both yesterday, which was Saturday. But I work at a Ford dealership, so I can go ahead and get me another one of these at the parts counter. But let's get into the car and I'll show you the problems that I'm having. Alright, getting inside the Miata. Go ahead and show you guys what's going on. So, be honest with you, I kind of haven't really been driving this thing a lot. I've actually been driving the Corvette a lot more lately. But with that, I've been having a little bit of an issue with the transmission. Now, I rebuilt this shifter last year, like literally exactly to the week last year. And it was great. I mean, car's been shifting great and everything. But I have noticed a little bit of a problem. I think this car is leaking transmission fluid. I'm starting to see puddles around, and Friday after I got done driving the Civic, and I checked underneath the car to see where it was coming from, and it looked like it was coming from the transmission plug where you drain the oil. But yeah, this thing's kind of been having a hard time shifting, to be honest with you. Now, getting to these gears right here is not bad, but when you get into reverse, yeah, not happening. Now, reverse gears always kind of been a problem with this thing, but it's really been bad. Hell, I can't even get it to shift in there now. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of a challenge to get this thing to shift into reverse. It's in there now. But yeah, maybe it's a shift force. Maybe something happened with the rebuilt kit. But first thing I'm going to do is change the transmission fluid, which it needed to do anyway because I put like over 30,000 miles on this car since I got it 5 years ago, and it's still no telling if they ever change the transmission fluid out on this thing or not. But hopefully that actually ends up fixing it, especially considering how much the transmission fluid is. It's pretty expensive. But yeah, it was something I was going to need to do anyway because, as I said before, I was planning on racing this thing in autocross next year. But we're going to go ahead and cut out into the morning because I had to drive this thing to work in the morning. And whenever you guys see me, we'll be in the shop changing out the transmission fluid. Alright, we're under the car and there's definitely something leaking. I'm going to take it to our local Miata shop to see what it is and have him replace that or fix that. I do think it's probably the rear main seal though, seen from all the oil. But I do think it's not transmission fluid, so that's better to think about. But I need to take this bolt out. And there's a fill bolt up there. This is where you fill it up at. I need to take that off too. So we'll get to it. All right. So this bolt right here is actually kind of a pain in the butt to get to. You want to make sure you take that bolt out first before you do this job? Because if you drain this bolt and you can't get this one out, you're pretty much screwed. Okay. So it looks like I had enough transmission fluid. So I'm not leaking transmission fluid. I'm leaking oil. And it looks like it's probably a rear main seal. Wait. No, that's not it at all. It's none of those things. It's the dang. I just replaced that thing. Well, as it turns out, what's leaking is my slave cylinder. A part I literally just replaced. Isn't that great? But I needed to do this anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and spray everything off and I'm gonna go ahead and spray everything off, get everything clean under here, and I'll see what happens next. But it's time to drain this fluid. Well, that was a lot easier to break loose. There we go. Wow. I'm assuming that this was actually changed not too long ago, because it actually looks really clean. Yeah, whoever owned this thing really took care of it, because this looks kind of new. I put like 30,000 miles on this thing since I first got it. Interesting. Gonna let this drain out. I'll be right back with you. Alright, transmission's pretty much drained. Let's go ahead and put this back on. Okay, I'm gonna get it on there. Good. Must be some debris in there. Interesting. Now, by the way, this is my first time doing one of these. Grab my socket. Grab a torque wrench, I'm gonna torque that. I'll be right back. Now I got my 2 bottles of transmission fluid. Just like I said, I got the Ford Motorcraft, the XT M5 XS, I think that's what it was. XT M5 QS. Yep. A lot of people in the Miata forums recommend this oil, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I got this little device right here to help me out. We'll see how this thing does. But I'll be right back with you when I get everything set up. There we go. I got a full syringe. Yeah.
You still got to do the oil change on it. After that, it'll be ready. So, what time you want to tell it will be back? About 3?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still at work, by the way. But I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. I'll be right back whenever I'm done. Alright, so this has pretty much been complete. I made a good bit of a mess, but surprisingly, my shirt isn't dirty. So you want to fill it up until it's pretty much just dripping like crazy. Pretty much so it'll be dripping just like that. That's how you know it's full. So now this is full. Just gotta tighten this back up. This is a crazy square bolt. You need an 8-point socket, or you can use a crescent wrench. I use a plumber's wrench and actually got it done. But if this is like your first time doing it, since you got the car, it's probably gonna be on there. So just to warn you. All right, everything's all buttoned down, and pretty much only things left is see how it drives. I'm gonna drive it around the dealership and I'm gonna drive it home. And by the time I get home, I'm gonna pretty much show you guys how it drives on camera. But everything went all right, to be honest with you. I don't want to do that ever again, to be honest with you. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but it's not a very usual thing you have to do. I mean, you saw how clean the fluid was, and I put like 30,000 miles on this thing since I first got it 5 years ago. So we'll get to it. All right, everyone, this is future me. This is actually a day later after I did the transmission service. I actually stayed at work super late and I couldn't finish up the video that day, but I had time to drive this thing and it's actually a good bit better. Actually, I'm actually able to shift into reverse now. Not too many problems with that anymore. All the gears feel good. Pretty much that solves pretty much all the problems I was having with this thing. So it's pretty much back to normal from what it was before. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about. This thing is pretty much all good. Had 185,000 miles. A little over 30,000 miles since I first got it back in 22. And really, it's been great. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Miata content. And I'll see you guys next time.